In today's program called Favorite Birthday Food, we're going to learn a lot of exciting and useful stuff. We're going to start off by making sure we include IOStream, but we have to include a couple other libraries. One we've used before, we're going to include string, and then we're going to include one that we haven't used before, which is time.h. Okay? Now, depending on what computer you're on, you might have a little bit different. You might get away with not using time.h, but I'm going to use it. You probably should as well, just to be safe. What we're going to do is we're actually going to give someone their favorite birthday food, but we're going to do it in a really unique way. So the first thing we're going to do is ask somebody their favorite food. What is your favorite food? And then we're going to see in their favorite food. I'm using Camel Case. And you notice that I did not declare favorite food yet, so it's going to bug out at me for two reasons. I didn't declare that, and I didn't put a semicolon. So I'm going to call it favorite food. And what type should food be? Well, let's go ahead and call it a string. I can do that because I included strings. Now, instead of CN for favorite food, what we're going to use, because strings are a little bit funky with CN doesn't like spaces. And so if they type in like black-eyed peas, the program would actually not function appropriately. So what we can use, something we used before with strings, is something called getLine. And we still use CN, but we do it a little bit differently. We type in getLine, and then we do the CN, favorite food. And we haven't done that in a while, so I wanted to take a moment to remind you about it. Whenever we're seeing a string, it's better to use getLine. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to output and give them what they wanted. Their favorite food, we're going to give it to them for their birthday. I will give you favorite food for your birthday. And we add a couple things at the end. We want to add our new line and our semicolon. I'm going to go ahead and build this. And what you're going to see, this is very basic. We haven't really added much new, right? But let's run it and make sure we feel comfortable with what it says. What is your favorite food? My favorite food is bananas. I will give you bananas for your birthday. Okay, that's nice and all. But we're going to do something new using srand, rand, and modulo. And the reason we included time.h is about to come into play. So instead of just giving one, I'd like to give somebody more than one of their favorite food. I'd like to give them a random number of their favorite food. Now we can do that. We can actually assign a random number using rand and parentheses. We just can open and close the parentheses just like that. Okay, so we're assigning a random number of their favorite food. Now we got to put a space in between so that it comes out looking a little bit nicer. Now I'm going to run it to show you what it looks like. That little rand allows us to put a random number in there, but it maybe didn't turn out like I wanted. So I'm going to type in pizza. I will give you 41 pizza for your birthday. Okay, I'm going to run it again. Hamburger. I will give you 41 hamburger. Actually, it gives me 41 again. That doesn't seem like random. It seemed random the first time, but now that I ran it a couple times, I can see that it always gives me the same random number. So there's a step that we need to do so that it gives us a more random number, so that it's different every time we run it. We need to seed the random number. At this point, because my computer is always my computer, every time I run it, it's always going to give me 41. But if I seed the random number, that means I say start at a different place. Don't always start with 41. Start somewhere else. And I can type in a number and tell it to start somewhere else. Or if we wanted to be truly random, what we're going to type in is time/null. Now, this isn't a perfect system. We're going to learn a more robust way to do this maybe in the future. But for right now, this should give us something a little bit more random. So I'm going to play it, building it, and hopefully it gives me no errors. Beautiful, succeeded. Favorite food is hot dogs. I will give you 7,108 hot dogs for your birthday. Let's run it again and double check. Pizza. I will give you 7,141 pizza. Uh-oh. That seems weird. Coffee. 7,170. Okay, so it's not truly feeling random. Well, part of it is that this is not a great way to generate large random numbers, but it works a little bit better for small random numbers. Let's say I wanted to give somebody a random number between 1 and 10. Then I can use modulo to do that, saying, let's give us a modulo of 10. Now I ran it, and let's see if it gives me something more reasonable. I like pasta. You eat pasta for your birthday. Run it, and I want to see if it feels random. Pizza, 7 pizza. Run it a few times. You got to really test it. Ravioli, 3 ravioli. So it seems, it's not perfect. This is not truly random, but it feels somewhat random. So you can use srand to generate a small random number. If we go big, it's going to be a little bit less reliable. The other thing you're going to notice is I picked modulo 10 to be a number between 1 and 10, but that's not true. Modulo 10 is the remainder when you divide by 10. So modulo 10 actually gives me a number between 0 and 9. What I want is to add 1. Now it gives me a number between 1 and 10.